Finally, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to try tearing down this LBZ that I got, and we're going to see what we can find. I'm sure there's going to be good, I'm sure there's going to be bad, and I'm positive there's going to be some ugly. So stay tuned. Now let's get to the fun stuff. This engine did not have any injectors. The injectors would obviously go in there, but this one didn't have any, so we don't have to take those out. I checked the hold downs. I got make sure the bolts are out of there, so there's nothing holding us up. I'm gonna take this bolt and that bolt right here out to remove this fuel rail. Once this fuel rail is removed, I'm going to go ahead and take out these Allen keys. I think there's 12 of them. And I'm going to take the head assembly, this valve cover assembly off, and let me get to the rocker, push rods, and I'll be able to take those off. So I'm going to set you guys up, probably put you on a time lapse. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a comment, and I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll actually make sure I slid on the video when I can possibly send it to you. First off, we're going to take the up pipes off. I already got one bolt out and it was kind of a bear. And then we're going to take the turbo off, and then we're going to take off this side and take this entire head all the way down. Hopefully get down to the piston tonight. First off, if your bolts are factory, you're going to need a 12 millimeter. And I'm just going to warn you, they're going to be tight. I just so happened to got a couple of these loose before I kicked the camera on, so I didn't make a complete fool of myself. But that's what it's going to look like. That's not good. That's not good. First casualty of the night. I'm sure there's going to be a few more. And that's one. She snapped. The other two came out. I snapped one over here as well. But it'll be alright. I'm sure we'll get it out. This is what we call an EGR delete manifold. So, I'm sorry, a pipe. I misspoke. A pipe. So, this part where it came up to go to the EGR cooler, but the previous owner lopped it off and just welded, or attempted to weld it shut, not allowing any air to come through it. Alright guys, so here is a quick how-to to get to the bolts, 3 bolts to pull the turbo. Here is the one setup. 17mm socket with the adapter and a 12-inch extension. And then this is for the trickiest bolt. You're going to go in between the exhaust and compressor housings, right where this clamp is. Here, I'll give you a better view. You're going to literally push it up against it. It's going to follow the line. Let this extension go right in between, and it's going to fall straight down onto the bolt. Pretty hard to see, I'm sure. But that one's super easy. Everybody will recommend for you to use a swivel. I just don't care to, because if you use a swivel, it's more like it's going to move, and that's going to be a guarantee to crack a knuckle, and there's going to be blood. So, this is just the best way I've done it over the years, and it has worked pretty good for me. The next setup is going to be a 1-inch extension, a 12-inch extension, and your 17mm. Now here, you're going to go right behind this oil fill line. Same thing. Let it just guide its way down, and it's going to fall right onto that bolt. Not real sure if you can see it. Nope. But it's going to fall right onto that bolt. And that gives you enough clearance to get your ratchet in there, whether it's a straight ratchet or a flex head, and you'll be able to break them loose. Now, I'm not going to BS you guys. You're going to have some want to. These are going to be super tight, and they're going to feel like they're borderline breaking. And you're going to keep pulling, and it's going to go tink, and you're going to feel like you snapped it. 9 times out of 10, you broke it loose, and that's exactly what you want to hear. But let's get this last one. So you're in front of your engine. You're going to go right back. So even if the downpipe's there or not, you're going to go right next to the downpipe and drop it straight down. Just like that. So right where this little groove is, go straight down. And there's the last one. Now that is a quick tips and tricks to get to those 3 bolts. Granted, you have one coolant line in the front here. You have to pull that coolant line off. I think, yeah, this feed. Unplug this. Unplug that. Your down pipe. Your up pipes. And your oil drain. And you'll be able to pull this plumb out. I know it seems like a lot, but once you get inside of the truck and you get in there, it goes by pretty quick. The infamous wire bridge. How are we going to get it out? Pretty easy, since it's out of the truck, but your first step is going to be to take all of your piping off, and then when you get down to this, You're literally going to see that little tab right there. You're literally going to slide this up. See if we can do it one-handed. Slide it up. Wiggle. Slide it up. Wiggle. And it pops right out. Now there is 2 O-rings right there. So if you're going down the highway and you blow your Y bridge, they say, that's the issue. A little bit of hairspray, stick it back in, make sure all your bolts are tight, and you should be good to go. But I highly, highly recommend a 1-piece Y bridge. I think it's the best thing. They do make a 2-piece Y bridge for the higher performance aftermarket. I have not had the luxury of using one. I was going to put one on Mildred, but I was afraid that I'd have the issue of blowing it out. But I think Screaming Diesel Performance sells a 2-piece. I personally love the Dirty Hooker Diesel one. Tony's spot on. Awesome product. A lot of guys run it. It is a 1-piece. It is a little bit more tight and kind of a pain to get in, but you don't have to worry about popping that O-ring. But let's get this other piece out. So we have the luxury of somebody broke that already, but you're going to have these 2 bolts, these 2, these 2. And you're going to have just the nuts in the back. Now, this is going to be the closest to the turbo, right? Because you're going to have your turbo here. This bolt is going to be one big pain in the ass to get out. You're going to have to rock. If the turbo's in the truck, you're going to have to rock the turbo back. And I promise you, as soon as you get this out, you're going to have a couple curse words in the vocabulary. I highly recommend as soon as you get this out, put an Allen key in there. So you can take it out this way and you can kind of squeeze it out. That way you don't have to get a wrench over here. Because once you go to take this out one time, you're going to completely understand why you should have an Allen head there. These 2, I would definitely, this is the case where I would use this actual 1/4-inch swivel. Because you're going to reach across. See if I can do it one hand. You're going to be reaching across many things. Mind you, you're going to have 2 or 3 extensions on here. Not just one. You're going to have probably 2 of these out. And you're going to break it loose. And exactly what's happening right there. It's going to fall. You're going to have to do the same thing over here. Get this one out. Same thing's going to happen. That one's probably going to fall. You're going to have to work on getting these out. The trick to getting the Y bridge is a few 1/4-inch extensions, a swivel, and a 10mm. Now, you're going to think it's impossible, so pretend that turbo's there. You will be able to get this in there. I mean, you're going to have to get over that little coolant hose, but bear with me, guys. This is kind of my first time working on one thing and using my other hand to hold the camera. I just don't want to set you up on the tripod. I feel like you can't see everything. Now once you got all your bolts out and your turbo's there, you're going to literally rock this to you, pull, 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 and it's going to come right out. Granted, it looked a whole lot easier than you're ever going to have it inside the truck, but you get the gist. And when you put it back in, I would just make sure those bolts line up first and give it like kind of a twist and a couple good hits. put these 2 bolts in first. Because when you put these bolts in, it kind of sets it and lines these up, because the back ones can't go anywhere because those studs are stopping it and putting it kind of into the place it has to be in.